Harper's on him. Behind the screen. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
Hello there, welcome to the OB Flooring Alliance. In today's video, we'll be reviewing The Last Dance. Before we jump in, can you please like and subscribe? Thank you. What The Last Dance is about, a documentary series about the Chicago Bulls going for their 6th championship in 8 years, covering their triumphants and their defeats over the years and why it's called The Last Dance and things like that, and what's happened over the years with certain players. So why is it called The Last Dance? Well, Phil Jackson came up with the idea because of his Indian African beliefs and coming up with this is our last dance, so we'll do the best that we can. And yeah, it's quite interesting why it's called The Last Dance, the show, and what The Last Dance is actually referring to. It's set in 1998 and it's covering, because what happens is, because of winning success, egos unfortunately got in the way, and the GM of the Chicago Bulls said, I'll try and do it myself, and said to Phil Jackson that this is your last year with the team and we're going to try and rebuild and try and get the glory as a organization. So basically we're going to get rid of Scottie Pippen and all the other players, and this was Michael Jordan's last season with the Chicago Bulls, and then it wasn't his last year playing basketball. He retired and then came back and played a couple of other years with the Washington Wizards. But
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead!
So in this section, we'll cover who the main characters are. And in the first section, in the first dynasty of the championships, Michael Jordan is the main character in the first episode that they cover, and then in episode 2 they cover Scottie Pippen when he finally got to the team, and then until that point Michael Jordan kind of needed a sidekick, and then they show how Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan kind of needed both each other. And then in episode 3, we got introduced to Dennis Rodman and his antics and his stuff. And what was quite interesting, he was actually competing against the Bulls and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen versus the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Pistons and the Bulls had quite a big rivalry between them. And in episode 4, we met Phil Jackson and the coach, world famous coach that was quite successful with the 2 three-peats with the Bulls and things like that. And then we also met other characters in the documentary, but Steve Kerr was the other famous player and character as well. So we'll go over the story and the episode structure. So basically how it goes in episode 1 is that they have won their 5th championship and now they're going for their 6th championship. So basically it's going over that season, and basically throughout the episodes we're getting introduced to Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen and all the players and coach and things like that, and all the scandals and stuff with the team. And then it's going back and forth between the Dream Team eras and between when Michael Jordan was drafted. So it was very confusing with the timelines and everything like that. Like, I would assume, and it was even quite confusing sometimes for me watching it, and I know a decent amount of basketball, but I could imagine, someone watching this for the first time that doesn't know much going, what's going on? It was quite a confusing thing to try and keep up with how it was going on with the season, because basically it would go from the season and then the playoffs and then things like that, and then the Western Conference Finals and then the finals against the Utah Jazz, and then it was just a very confusing storyline. Interesting fact of how The Last Dance was actually made: a film crew wanted to film the last season of the championship dynasty of the Chicago Bulls, because they didn't know if it was going to be the last season that Michael Jordan was going to be playing. So they ran the footage of all the details and of how the season got, and all the footage, and it wasn't until 20 years and with Michael Jordan's express word or the go ahead to use it, and then that's how the Netflix show was made, because I guess until he was retired and ready to use it and felt like it needed to be used, that's when the show was made. So it was quite interesting to find that out. It was quite interesting that he didn't want to use it shortly after the it had happened. He wanted to wait. What kind of made I found out quite a lot of interesting things, because that's a good thing about watching documentaries. You find out quite a lot of interesting facts and things that you didn't know before. I didn't realize how bad Michael Jordan's winning necessary of always winning was, and it became so bad that he gambled and always was partying and gambling all the time. And it was unfortunate to find out how his father passed away. Basically was sleeping in the car and then got killed by two strangers. And also other basketball player Steve Kerr, his father passed away overseas, so just unfortunate. And also Dennis Rodman, he was a strange character. He always even said to his coach, I got to be me, I got to do what I want to do. And then he would play on the day, but he was a odd one as well. And Scottie Pippen was good as well. And what came out from the documentary is the people's perception of Michael Jordan. Me personally, I think it's interesting to show how he has his mindset of how other people's play and things, they got to be better. But when it comes to himself and how his gambling and he always needs to win, he doesn't hold himself to the same standard. So as a basketball player, I think he's great. But as a person, I don't know, to be honest. But he got his championships, and he's a great basketball player. As a basketball documentary, like if you already knew things and you came with just learning and discovering and things like that, you'll definitely enjoy it. But if you didn't know anything, you'll not enjoy it as much. So it's that kind of I think it's more made for people that already like basketball and things like that, and already like the Bulls. I don't think it was made for people that didn't know about basketball in mind. But I still definitely enjoyed the show. It was very inspirational, very amazing, and things that happened in the show were quite good to watch. And so The Last Dance, with all the 10 episodes and how it was structured, I would give it a 7 out of 10. Problem with the show, the reason why it's held back, in my opinion, is the problem with the timeline, is how it's all jumbled and confusing, and it keeps swapping and things like that. How I would have changed it, because it's hard, because it's already happened, so maybe would have start from the beginning of when Michael Jordan got drafted, or maybe from when he went to university from then, or maybe from when he was losing and then got Scottie Pippen. Like, there's a lot of ways that you could have started that's less confusing, but how they did it, I think, was good for people that already knew about the Bulls and things like that. But if you're a newcomer, I think they did it in a very unimaginative way, not really good for newcomers. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.